What if one of the most important places on Earth isn't a city, a battlefield, or a military base, but a narrow stretch of water that most people have never seen? Between Iran and the Arabian Peninsula lies the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow passage only about 20 miles wide, but one that connects regional geography with global power. Every day, enormous amounts of energy move through this narrow waterway, fuel that supports industries, transportation, and economies around the world. For decades, the Strait of Hormuz was seen mainly as a vital trade route. Today, it has become something more, a strategic pressure point where energy, military power, and international politics collide. Because the real question is not only who controls this waterway. The real question is, what happens when one of the world's most important routes becomes vulnerable? The Strait of Hormuz connects the Persian Gulf with the Gulf of Oman and the wider Indian Ocean. Its importance comes from a simple reality. A significant share of global energy transportation passes through this route. That makes it one of the most closely watched maritime choke points on Earth. But these energy flows are not only about economics, they are also about influence. In a region where geography creates leverage, a narrow waterway can become a powerful strategic tool. And this is where the Strait of Hormuz becomes more than a trade route. It becomes a symbol of how geography shapes global competition. The strait's unique geography creates a difficult security challenge. The waters are relatively narrow. The surrounding coastline allows countries in the region to closely monitor movement. And during periods of tension, even limited disruption can create uncertainty far beyond the Middle East. This is why major powers continue to pay close attention. The United States maintains military forces in the region to support freedom of navigation. Regional countries invest heavily in surveillance and defense systems, and Iran views the strait as a critical element of its national security strategy. Different countries see the same waterway through different perspectives. For some, it represents global commerce. For others, it represents strategic leverage. And that difference is what makes the Strait of Hormuz so important. A crisis here would not remain here. Modern economies are deeply connected. A disruption in one major transportation route can affect shipping, energy markets, and business decisions thousands of miles away. But controlling this choke point is not as simple as closing a gate. The global economy has multiple layers of adaptation. Countries can search for alternatives, markets can adjust, and governments can respond. Yet the possibility of disruption itself creates strategic pressure, because in modern geopolitics, uncertainty can become a tool of power, and the challenge is becoming even more complex. Future conflicts may not only be about ships, missiles, or military bases. They may also involve the invisible systems that keep global trade moving, energy routes, communication networks, and the infrastructure modern societies quietly depend on. That is why places like the Strait of Hormuz remain at the center of global attention, not because they are large, but because their importance extends far beyond their size. For centuries, nations competed to control ports, trade routes, and oceans. Today, the same struggle continues, but the most important locations are not always the biggest. Sometimes, global power is concentrated in a narrow passage of water, a place where geography becomes strategy, and where a few miles of ocean can influence decisions around the world. Because in the modern age, the smallest points on the map can create the biggest consequences.